Yo, bro.
Yo, bro.
Yo, bro.
What's up?
I gave you a nice one
Yeah, you did.
because I'm ready to kick this thing off.
What you got over there? Oh, my God. Oh,
What
my
I got
God.
over there. Yep. You know, I've been frugal in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
So when I was in BJ's this week,
Yeah.
it's like, fuck it. Let me buy one of these 28 packs of Celsiuses.
Let's go, dude.
But that has also forced me to drink like 2 a day.
I don't think
I'm
that's
just
how that
run-
works. What do you mean it forced
No,
you?
It is.
No, I don't think that's how that works.
We know what that word means.
All right.
How are you, dude?
Dude, the Celsius is nice. You put me,
I know.
drank my first Celsius with you.
The orange one,
I'll never
right?
forget my first, brother. That was
It's
nice.
fire.
Right out of a
They are-
Wawa.
They are fire. Oh, yeah, Wawa.
Yeah, man.
They are fire. And for those listening that are part of Markstrom's community, which is most of you, probably all of you, do you feel conflicted about drinking Celsiuses because of the monster?
Yeah, I'll never cheat on a monster in the fact that I won't have it first in the day. You know what I mean?
You won't have a first in the day.
Nah,
But the
Celsius is
third or
like
fourth.
Celsius is like, you know, the afternoon delight. You know what I'm saying? The afternoon
do know
delight
what you're
goes
saying.
crazy, dude.
Yeah. Abe, how about you, dude? What's going on?
Not much, man. Just I was down in Florida, Mark's birthplace for a little while there,
Love it.
visiting some family for the Memorial Day weekend back in PA where it's raining and miserable every
Terrible.
single day.
Yep.
So ready to rip.
Go Gators.
Good. Love to hear it. Growl says BJ's question mark. BJ's is like a Costco for those who is it it's Costco, right? That's what it is.
Cost company,
Costco?
brother.
Okay, yeah. It's basically the
DJ's
same
is
thing. But,
Berkeley and Jensen's. Is
Oh.
is that what it is?
I'm blow gibbers.
Nah, that's what I
All right.
thought too.
Yeah. Weird.
What I've heard, because I've never been, even though there is one kind of near me, I've heard Costco is way better. Way better.
Yeah, it's not
is.
even close.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Well, also, last time I was in BJ's, I said, you know what? I could use a griddle too. So I bought a flat top for to throw on my grill because I've been making breakfast every morning for me and Trisha. Yep. And my breakfast is 5 pieces of bacon. Love it. 5 whole eggs. Love it. And 2 pieces of power toast. Very easy breakfast to eat, dude. Very easy. And then Trisha's like, you know what? Throw 2 pieces of bacon on there for me and a full egg and some egg white. She usually doesn't eat meat, you know that. So she's into the bacon, and she usually doesn't eat full eggs either. So she's getting a little
Damn.
yolk in there. But I was using one pan to do everything and just keep. Throw some bacon in, take it out, throw more in, my eggs, then her eggs. And I was like, screw it. Let me buy a nice flat top, and I'm gonna get hibachi, the whole thing, dude. And
Nice.
I like it, man.
You got a good volcano going over there or what?
No, I did not do the volcano. My house is so old that it's just waiting to be set up. Actually, knock on wood, dude. Why would I even frickin' say that? God.
It manifested some crazy shit over there, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I'm getting into cooking the breakfast. Really enjoy it. And then I don't mean to start talking food right off the
I'm
rip.
so
Sorry.
hungry. It is
Sorry,
what it is.
guys. Sorry, but I'd made a stew on Sunday. I actually made a stew on Monday. 4.62 pounds of chuck roast, 2 packets of, my mom put me on this, powder au jus gravy. Never knew that was a thing.
Yep.
So I threw 2 packets in there,
nice.
and then powdered ranch dressing.
Yep.
So I threw a
The
packet
Hidden
of that
Valley
in.
juicer in there.
Yep.
Yep.
And then a stick and a half of butter.
She knows
8
what she
hours.
doing, dude.
Dude,
Amazing.
it's delicious, and it's great on the macros. There's a lot of fat, but like I fit it. It's fine. Absolutely delicious. So I'm on it right now, bro. I'm
That's
on it.
good.
And you see my
Hidden
shirt?
Valley Ranch.
What, on the shirt, what do you got? You got a little Shrek?
Yeah, hold on, check this out. You better Shrek yourself before you wreck yourself, son.
That's a good shirt, dude. That's a solid fit check right there.
It is a solid. They only had a medium. I was gonna try to buy a large for you, but I was like, I'm only gonna be able to
A
bask
large
in
on
it.
me
Sorry.
still would have looked like a schmedium. I'm gonna be keeping a bean with
Shut
you.
the fuck up. All
That's-
right.
I'm
You're not
exclusively
lying. I know.
XL.
You're not. XL in what? Baby Gap?
XL in every single t-shirt I've bought for the last like 4 years, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a grown boy.
Okay. All right. Abe, you
I'm
believe
getting
this guy?
wide, brother. Check the health and fitness
You
channel
are. No,
sometime.
I see it. You're definitely getting wide. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm getting lean too.
Is that why you have to get the XLs for the gut?
I
Damn.
said wide, brother. I'm getting mad
Wide.
lean. I'm 202 right now.
202. I'm actually my leanest right now as well.
That's nice.
And I'm gonna stay locked in.
That's good.
I was talking to Tub earlier. For those who don't know Tub, he's one of my buddies IRL, and then he became a member of the community as well. He's a little bodybuilder too. He was talking about going ham on the cut super quick, and I was like, "Don't you lose a lot of muscle?" And you know how Tub thinks he's an expert in everything. He's kind of like you in that matter. He said, "You don't lose the muscle fast. You'll deflate the muscle, but it takes a lot more than you think to lose the muscle."
He's right.
Yeah, really?
If you're getting 8 hours of sleep a night and you're getting a pound or a gram of protein per pound of body weight, 100%. It looks worse than it is always because you're not staying carved up. If you're aggressively cutting, the muscle's gonna deflate to an extent, right? And so visually it looks like it's not quite there. But if you get lean real fast and you lose the fat and then you manipulate a little bit of the water and you carb up and you get nice and dry and you get nice and thick, brother. Show me how thick, solid, and tight you can get, bro. Send me some progress pics.
All right. Well, I took off two.
It's legit.
Oh, you weren't talking to me specifically?
Not specifically, no.
Oh, all right. I took off 200 extra calories.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, fuck it. I was doing 50. I would do 50 and then go a couple weeks, drop it 50, go a couple weeks. And I was slow, steady. Like, I feel good, look good. But I was like, fuck it. Let me drop 200. We're approaching summer. Let's see what happens.
It's much more popular these days to do a more aggressive cut. It's much less frowned upon because the research shows that you can absolutely, as long as you're doing those two things that I mentioned, you can cut more aggressively for sure without massive side effects. And on top of that, you know where the real money is?
Where's the real money?
Dude, the real money, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
It's not at the end of the cut.
Okay.
You make sure the cut is a little bit extra.
What does that mean?
You go a little bit farther than you plan on. You get a little bit leaner than you plan on. But hear me out. But then it's the rebound. It's a little bit of food in you. And it's some good heavy lifts for like a week, 2 weeks, eating at maintenance or maybe even just a tiny bit above maintenance. Brother, that's where the magic is.
I always struggle with when you're not losing weight, but you're still trying to stay regimented with food and gain. I always struggle with that because I'm just like, fuck it, dude. Like, I'll just gain.
Don't do that.
I know.
You just told me that you were going to stay locked in.
Well, that's because I'm just locking in until I'm shredded.
I'm locking in until I'm not.
There's no way.
It's the cycle of life, Dominic. It's lock in, circle to the bottom, crash out, circle back up to the top, lock in.
100%.
Oh yeah.
For me, there's only one lock in, and it's when I'm losing weight. If I'm not losing weight, I am not locked in, and that's not
disciplined
good.
On the rebound.
It's not good. You're right. It's not good. I get it. But here's the thing, and this is just an excuse. I understand. If I'm locked in, I don't think I could really enjoy the lifestyle that I want during the summertime. Like, I work a lot, don't get it twisted, but I also go to my brother's for barbecues, and I'll head to the beach, and I just won't enjoy, like, all right, let me heat up my stew while you guys are eating. Like, I don't like that shit. So I'll lock in, and then I'll slowly rebound to being a fat fuck again, but not until the summer's over. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
That's kind of how it goes.
For me, being locked in, I will have what they're having.
Yeah.
But
and
only
then you just
part
throw
of
it up.
No, it's bad strategy. You don't want to do that. That's how you get throat cancer.
Yeah.
I'm right.
Okay. All right. So what did you say? You'll have what they have, but only part of it. Like what? You'll take the buns away.
If
or
I'm
something?
locked in, I'm not trying to eat big. I don't have the stomach for it, man. That's where we differ. Because you can be locked in and still put down an insanely sized meal. I know that,
bro.
I can't.
Bro. It's a bottomless pit.
If I'm clean, if I'm eating clean, it doesn't take much. So I'll have some of the meat, and I don't need the sides. And I don't, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to cook something different because that's crazy. I'm not that guy. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That doesn't feel good.
No,
And you're not participating in family time.
correct.
I agree.
Yes. Okay. And then I was with someone the other day and we were eating, and it was my Sunday night is my meal where I just fuck off. Like I'm locked in until Sunday. I used to be Sunday, and then the guy I'm training with is like, bro,
Don't do a whole day.
it. Like,
what are we doing here?
He said, don't do a whole day, dude. Do not do a whole
That's
day.
how you gotta do a whole week.
Yep.
Yeah. I know.
So I do a whole meal, but trust me, that meal is dangerous.
I'm not doing a cheat meal at all. I don't got one.
More power
It's
to you,
easier
bro.
for me though.
Why is it more easy for you?
Just because if I have that meal, like
Yeah.
it's easy for that meal to roll into breakfast the next day, and then
What do you think? I don't suffer from that as well? I think it's easier for you because
it's easier for for me to just not do one at all versus do one.
It's not easier. It's a better choice because it leads to more destruction.
Yeah,
Is what you're saying.
yeah.
Easily.
Bad
Easily.
leads to bad, and I think that's
too, right?
classic.
Yes.
Isn't it easier when you don't leave your house too?
That's what I was gonna say, because every Sunday
You guys
night
be saying
Trish's
this a lot,
family,
but I do be leaving.
yeah, but Trish's family has her dad's a grill master, and every Sunday they do fucking dinner, and I'll go over there, and it's just super easy to be like,
What do you think got this
bacon.
coffee, Abe?
Yeah, that's wild. You drink some.
I don't know.
too.
What's your DoorDasher's name?
Damn.
That's fucked up. I'll have you know that I was literally on a hidden camera show this evening. Go
Were
at my
you really?
local Starbucks. It felt like it because I stood behind some lady who had a 10-minute conversation in front of me while I'm standing behind them waiting to order. And it was not under 10 minutes. It was above 10 minutes. And I'm standing there like, where's the camera? Where is the fucking camera? There has to be one.
How painful is it inside?
I'm dying. I'm actually dying. I'm jumping ass
know.
first in my mind the whole time.
I know, dude. It's the secondhand cringe, and it makes me so uncomfortable.
I told my father-in-law about it, and he was like, like at some point you gotta think like maybe it's a good practice in patience, maybe
It is.
And I thought,
It
and I said, you know
is.
what I said though? I was like, yeah, I thought that right around the 5-minute mark, and then the next 5 minutes went by, and I was gonna lose it,
bro. He's on it because it's 100%
Yeah.
true. I went to this was a while ago.
She gave
before
me
I
a
was
smiley
locked in.
though on my cup.
That's questionable.
All right.
I went to a pizza place a while before I was locked in, and I went with one of Trisha's friends' boyfriends, and we were picking up the meal. The guy at the register didn't know how to work the register. He didn't know how to communicate. He didn't know how to problem solve. And in my head, I'm like, just turn the fucking screen around. I'll do it. But and then I was like, you know what, man? I need more. I need more patience. I need to be more kind. I need to just give people the room to learn and grow. I'm gonna be out of here in 10 minutes tops. What do I need to worry about
thought
this
that
shit
too.
for? But you weren't.
No, it took another 10 minutes to get my drink. I was in the Starbucks for 25 minutes to get one coffee. No, man.
Starbucks is a good test of patience in general because
I was the only
you ever
person
get
in there.
stuck behind
Abe.
you ever get stuck behind like a group of 13-year-old girls ordering at Start? First of all, none of you should be drinking coffee. That's number one.
It's not your growth.
Don't drink coffee. Yeah. Don't drink coffee. Second of all, they don't know how to order. And then they always have trouble paying because they don't have credit cards or anything. It's because they're 13. It's terrible. I hate it.
Well, you know me. I'm gonna get my patience is gonna be tested from all fronts when I walk into a Starbucks. You know that. There's gonna be someone with blue hair working behind the counter. I'm gonna be all. You know me, dude. I don't even go into Starbucks. It's just not a recipe for me. Dude, I'll brew my own for a while, or I'll send Markstrom to go get it, and they'll end up with smiley faces on the cups. Why don't we? You guys want to get into this? We started off hot, dude. Why don't we get into this?
What do you got, Abe?
Well, it's going to be we're going to go from hot to a little somber here because today is a significant day in history. Today marks the 9-year anniversary of the death of Harambe.
Oh, shit.
Rest in peace.
So perhaps I would argue the most famous gorilla ever.
Yeah.
Can you refresh my memory? And
that's not true.
Who's the most famous gorilla?
King Kong.
That's absolutely fair. What? Well, is he a gorilla?
Yeah.
Are you
He's
sure?
silverback gorilla. King Kong.
Okay. All right. I didn't know the story. I didn't know the origins.
Lock in. Jack Black.
There's no way Jack Black is the original or what?
No.
What is he?
But the most recent King Kong movie, I think he was in.
Wait, was he really?
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was.
He was like this film director. He wanted to go like shoot the thing, and yeah.
You know how I struggle with separating the art from the artist, or the person from the art, or whatever we say. I'm doing better at that, and Jack Black is one of those, because I freaking love Jack Black. But nowadays, I got to separate the person from the art, unfortunately. Same with Pedro Pascal. I know you're a big fan, and I'm a big fan as well. He's great actor. Separate the art from the artist. What can you remind me what happened to Harambe?
Yeah, sure. So Harambe was a gorilla at the Cincinnati Zoo. And it was 9 years ago today. A 3-year-old boy who basically was playing in a spot he shouldn't have been by himself, fell into the enclosure, and the gorilla approached the boy, and they were afraid that he was going to kill the boy, who was still alive but injured. So the workers at the zoo shot and killed Harambe. So Harambe was indeed murdered by the zoo employees to save that child, but. Many people have linked Harambe's death to a lot of the issues that we've been having in the world in general. Yeah, because there is the timing of it is a little suspicious with some of the things that have happened since then. But
beginning of the end,
it is correct. It's a pretty significant date now at this point. So May 28th, we will always remember Harambe, our sweet prince. Rest in peace, King.
Yeah.
What?
Good night, sweet prince.
So parents weren't watching their kids, and a kid fell into the enclosure. Was this a video I saw where the gorilla was like grabbing him by the ankles and like dragged him into his little den? Or is that something else? Because I've seen that too.
Can't remember if that was it or not. I haven't watched the actual video in a long time.
There's also a pretty popular clip of like just some like dudes in the middle of the jungle with like, I think they're in like military fatigues, and one's getting like dragged into the bush. And he's like looking at the guy, like into the camera, like he let him go though.
Bro.
And that one at least.
I love it. Some people are like, he's just trying to protect. It's like, you never fucking know. And especially with these gorillas, they will rip your dick off.
Yeah, sometimes they escape from the zoo and punch you in the eye. That's a fact.
First off, rest in peace, Harambe. Second off, what kind of shot was it that took him down? Was it a headshot?
It had to be something powerful. I mean,
no, for sure it had to be something powerful. Was it a headshot?
Let me see if they have it. If they have the ballistics.
Oh my gosh.
Harambe ballistics is a crazy Google search. I'm just saying. That's wild. That is actually wild.
Man, what a shame, dude. What a shame. What a freaking shame.
He was shot with a Winchester Model 70 chambered in a 375 H&H.
There you go.
Okay,
375
where?
Holland and Holland.
What kind of what was the target? Was it a headshot?
I don't know.
I'm tell you what, these gorillas will eat that shit. They will, bro. These
they got a fast MT up there, bro.
Dude, if you run into one of these in the wild, good luck.
Yeah,
good
they're
luck.
They're dense boys.
Absolutely.
Isn't there
dense.
a debate? Isn't there a debate right now where it's like, could 100 men kill a gorilla?
It's a stupid debate. It's an absolutely stupid debate.
That gorilla's fucking up those people.
I've seen AI say like, you'll lose about 30 men, but you could probably do it.
Well, that's assuming that everyone's coordinated and not shitting themselves because they're fighting a fucking gorilla.
The first person gets their arm ripped off and everyone's shitting their pants, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're done.
Dude, done. These things don't, and like the tolerance, even if you were able to like break a gorilla's arm or something, you think he's going to be like, oh, my arm. No, he won't give a fuck. He's just going to keep going and going and going. There's no way. There's absolutely no way.
Cue the Joe Rogan gorilla impression.
So good. So good, dude. Oh my gosh.
Oh, God.
Well, rest in peace, Harambe, dude.
R.I.P.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yep. All right. Well, speaking of things that might be dying, there's a lot of confusion that's been going on in the gaming community surrounding Bungie's Marathon. So, Mark, you did some testing for the game. It's been in the headlines a lot lately, probably not for the best reasons. They got basically caught stealing art from someone. They admitted to it, and they did, admittedly too, they said they would rectify it and make good with the artist. There were also reports internally that their leadership team was the most toxic people that have ever been worked with and incredibly humiliating. All that has led down to this point now where there has been a report that came out on, and I've never heard of this podcast before, but I guess shout out to them, the Sacred Symbols podcast, and a man named Colin Moriarty, who had spoken with an overseas marketing expert for this industry and has stated that Sony has reportedly canceled all paid marketing for Marathon, which is not a good sign. It usually means one of two things is happening. The game is being delayed or the game is being outright canceled. Now, they could also, Bungie could just take this by itself and do all the marketing and do the release all by itself that way. But things are not looking good for the release, at least the timely release of Marathon, given this new information.
I mean, it could also mean one more thing, which it probably doesn't, that it just has its own. It's got its own wave right now amongst creators and streamers, and they're doing all the marketing for them. But I don't think it means that.
No, I think it's way more simple. All that it means is that the game's not releasing on the same schedule, and I think that was probably pretty obvious from like the feedback that they received to begin with, right? With no proximity VoIP, a lot of the feedback from the player base, them not really putting 2 feet into the extraction shooter genre. Kind of just like towing the line between an extraction shooter and a BR. Honestly, the bones of the game as far as like actual gunplay are better than any other extraction shooter that's out right now. And it's not even close. And no one expects Bungie to have bad gunplay. Everyone who's ever played a Bungie game knows that the gunplay is going to be fun. And that's the thing that's lacking the most by a mile in all these other extraction shooters. So I have big faith for it still. If they push it back and they change, the focus of development, then any existing marketing plans had to be moved and changed anyway. So of course they're canceled, right? So anything that they had with certain creators or any kind of like advertisement that they had like preemptively, right, for different online websites or commercials or Steam push or anything like that, all that has to be moved. So I'm not surprised. I don't think it has anything to do with like the art thing that went on. People are like grossly reactive to the art thing that I think we already talked about briefly on Plugged. Essentially, one of the artists had one of the people who worked for Bungie basically stole art from another person. It happens all the time with artists, unfortunately. And Bungie's response was exactly what you would hope from them. Hey, we don't condone this. We're really sorry that this happened, and we've reached out to the original artist, and we're working on like rectifying the situation with them. What else do you want from them? But people were still like super like grossly displeased with it. Why? I don't know. I've seen some like really weirdly shitty takes from a bunch of like big creators that don't really think about what they're saying before they say it, which is unfortunate. Asmongold being primarily one of them, and that's unfortunate. That dude doesn't do a whole lot of thinking, unfortunately, before he speaks these days, unless it's to, create controversy because that means money for him.
Ooh, feisty. You like Asmongold, dude. That's a feisty take right there.
Once upon a time, I think he was a lot less mentally ill, and I think he has some serious issues. I'm not saying that in like a a negative way. I just genuinely think his mental illness has really had a negative impact on his content, the way that he behaves in the public space. And he doesn't take his impact seriously. And that's a shame.
I think that's a reoccurring theme in a lot of
for sure at a certain size
influencers.
Yeah, he also had some like rough family stuff happen, and there's a lot more to it. And I'm sympathetic to those things, of course. And once upon a time, I thought he actually had really like great, thoughtful takes. So it's a shame to see that kind of devolve into what it is today. But again, he is one of the main proponents of some like really awful, not well thought out takes regarding Marathon and Bungie, and he's just farming it for content because it's easy to get the reactions that he wants from his fan base.
Sure.
covering this story. So, yeah, man, I think that this is not surprising at all. The marketing plan thing being changed or canceled right now makes perfect sense. I think the timeline gets pushed back, and I hope they just kind of lay low and actually work on their game and make it better.
Sure.
That's all you can hope.
I have a question. Do we have any I'm just curious about the art thing. I know it's probably nothing, but they've admitted to it. So is there any
Yeah, they
examples?
said straight up immediately.
I'd love to see how egregious it is.
It's bad.
What is that on the left and they're on the right? So what's
These are like the art attribute files that they're talking about. So I believe the ones on the right are ripped directly from, or the ones on the left I think are ripped from the game.
The ones on the right are from the game, I believe, because they're actually really solid. The ones on the left seem to be the
original
inspiration
files
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's to the point where there's some things that are included in the game that literally have the name of the artist scratched out. Like you can see where it was, and now it just kind of looks like hieroglyphics because they just scratched out the artist name.
That's so
because the artist's name was Anti-Real, and if you look there, you can see Anti-Real Daily Series.
Okay.
And then it clearly used to say Anti-Real Daily Series, and there's some weird scratched out hieroglyphic.
That's super lazy. That is so lazy.
Yeah, but
you could have gotten super close, and wow,
could have just recreated something similar if you weren't just an absolute brain dead piece of shit.
That's what I'm
saying. It's not.
You could have literally injected all of his art into ChatGPT and said, "Give me a reference art that's 75% close to this art," and it could have done it for you.
No.
I think this is the third time Bungie got in trouble for stealing art too, which is why people made a bigger deal. I'll be honest though, even just doing the research for this delay or the marketing issues, people just love to hate on Bungie and Marathon right now. I don't know why. It's
so hot right now.
Yeah, it's really hot to hate. So hot right now to hate on Bungie.
Wow, they suck off Nexon, one of the grossest, scummy companies, business practice-wise, historically in the gaming industry of all time, who is hosting a third-person extraction game, which doesn't work in its entire concept, and also hosts pay-to-win microtransactions. But don't worry, guys, I can't wait for Arc or whatever the fuck it's called.
Raiders.
Yeah, but that's the recipe, dude. Make a game that doesn't work, that just makes pay to win stuff, and it's extremely successful.
And then sue your competitors or sue the original creators that you stole from.
Exactly. That's the recipe. I have a question about so we talked about the toxic leadership. What is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
Oh yeah.
This was an ex-employee that basically
someone who had been fired.
They were fired. I think
a disgruntled employee.
Let me just see if I can get their name or if there's any details about the developer, but who worked on Marathon, known as Spirited, who had shared a comment about his experience on social media. Once that Spirited posted on Blue Ski saying, a former Bungie employee who had worked on Marathon, I feel for those still at the studio. Working with engineering such Marathon leadership was extremely toxic and humiliating. I won't speak about the rest, but Bungie leadership needs to be gutted in its entirety. Doesn't say whether, there we go. Laid off the last year, the studio laid off a bunch of employees, and it doesn't state that person was directly laid off, but that's what.
Yeah, that was one of my bigger concerns. They gutted about half the studio last year, but then again, so did every other major AAA dev. So
yeah. And the toxic leadership thing, okay, sure, they're probably toxic, but unfortunately that argument or that piece of information always it doesn't really do much for me, because I don't know if you guys have listened to these are two of my favorite books. They're biographies by Walter Isaacson, and he does them extremely well. One of them is for Steve Jobs, one of them is for Elon Musk, and these are 20 plus hour long books. I freaking love them, and they'll go over situations, and then speaking about the situations, and then interviews with people that were in these situations. And if you listen to these audiobooks, Steve Jobs and Elon Musk were fucking assholes to their crew, to the company, but they got shit done. So I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying most of the time leadership, You're not going to enjoy leadership if they're really good at getting shit done. Now, people can argue with me on that, sure, and maybe there's ways to do things nicely, but most of the time, good leaders probably are also assholes, in my opinion. But I'm not saying they're good leaders. They probably just suck because of what they created, so they don't have the right to be toxic. But a lot of times, really good leaders are also assholes.
Yeah, if they were good leaders, their game wouldn't be where it's at right now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. That's the way
that's
goes.
what I have to say about that.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. It's all very savable, especially if they hired a particular individual to point them in the right direction.
What particular individual would that be?
I don't know, but he sounds handsome.
He sounds handsome. Nothing was even said about him.
What else you got, Abe?
This is a quick hitter. I loved it. I love whenever I can talk about this particular topic, and that's Ubisoft being terrible. There's been a lot of talk about their sales figures for Assassin's Creed Shadows because they won't release them. They absolutely refuse to release the actual sales figures. They didn't release it on their investor call this past month. They did indeed boast about the fact that that they had the most players since I think Valhalla still surpassed it, but the most players. They kept saying the most players since Origins and Odyssey, and 2 million players was the milestone at one point. They put out a post on Twitter celebrating those 2 million players, but there's been a lot of suspicion about the actual sales figures because a lot of players were playing the game through Xbox Game Pass. Ubisoft has their own subscription service that's significantly less than the actual cost of the game, which was about on average $70. Sure. So on the backs of this controversy of whether or not this game actually sold well, despite them boasting about the number of people playing it, and even though they're totally not worried about the sales figures related to Assassin's Creed Shadows, they did just send out a company-wide email saying that they will be starting a transformation committee. The transformation committee is geared to improve the quality of future projects and revitalize the Assassin's Creed studio. CEO Yves Guillemot, I think so you say it, his son has been appointed to co-lead the transformation committee. They've been given a $100 million budget and 100 days to correct these issues. And, on the backs of these totally good sales figures that they won't release, you also, if you get a look at their stock chart here.
Wow,
there's
10 euros?
The launch of the game happened right at the end of March, and you'll notice, so the game came out on the 20th. You'll notice right around the 25th, that's when the staunch drop off of more than 20% in the stock happened for this year.
Oh my gosh.
Everything's totally great at Ubisoft. They're just launching a committee and committing a bunch of dollars to fixing the Assassin's Creed studio, the one that's responsible for the most recent launch.
Well, I'm glad they hosted such a deep, wide, fully robust search for the right person to co-lead this transformation committee by electing the CEO's son to do it. That's good, man. I'm sure that is the right person for the job, and yeah, I'm sure the guy's really qualified and will do wonderfully. What do you think, Slum?
There's like a 3% chance that this isn't just blatant nepotism. I'm not gonna say a 0% chance because you never freaking know. You never know if as soon as this kid was born, he was put on the most stringent work ethic path ever. Started in the mail room at Ubisoft.
I got bad
way
news.
Up. What? What's the bad news?
His dad sucks at his job, so do you think that he's gonna be good?
No, probably not.
No, I don't think so either.
No. But I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Ubisoft or Ubisoft or whatever, with the $2 million or the 2 million players, is it fair to say that is the accolade, the players in nowadays business model? Because I relate it to like records sold. Like they're still getting plaques and shit, but like they're not selling records necessarily. They're streaming. That's the award nowadays. It's like 2 billion streams.
Sure.
Because the way the business model is, they're doing the Game Pass. They're doing all this other stuff. You don't really have to buy the game. So is it fair to say that like players is the accolade?
Yeah,
and
concurrent player base. The problem is that if you have an insane peak in concurrent player base at the very beginning, and then 90% of those people return your game within the 2-hour window, it's not very representative, now is it?
No, it's not.
So, it's a little bit weird in that regard. And there are plenty of games where that's exactly their peak, is right off the rip, and then it's just pure plummet.
Yeah.
There's no sustained player base whatsoever. No one's buying the fucking 3 DLCs you pre-planned and didn't put in the game as content to begin with. Jackass. Sorry. Jackass.
And I think
Go
they
ahead.
do have their own internal streaming, or not streaming, but the platform, the Ubisoft subscription service. But they do get a revenue share from something like an Xbox Game Pass, but still, like, it's significantly less than a $70 sale of the
But they
game.
know that. They know that already when you sign up to be Game Pass. You know that.
Yep.
You know that there's a trade-off here.
It's built in, and honestly, they would prefer the guaranteed money from Game Pass than
Sure.
to have to bank on resting on their own laurels for the game being good and getting recommended through word of mouth and people going through the, hey, how you doing? I have to do this transaction now, and decide not to return it. But if someone gets it on Game Pass, guess what? They're not doing that. It doesn't matter. They
Nope.
said, hey, I had Game Pass anyway. I tried it. It sucked dick. I'm over it.
Yep. It is bold to have a shit game and put it on Game Pass, because if you have a non-shit game,
It's not bold. It's
And-
smart.
is it smart?
And they might as well get your guaranteed money. That's what Ubisoft needs right now.
I think they should
company.
I think they should release it and not have a return policy.
That's bold.
That's-
But they would have to
that's-
not do it on Steam because that's not up to them.
That's
You want
probably
to do
the
your own
best way.
launcher? They have their own launcher. It's shit. Imagine
There you-
that. But
There you go. There you
no
go.
one has it on their computer. I'll tell you that.
But then you could make the formula. Okay, we're going to have a guaranteed. Every sale is guaranteed to not be refunded, but we know we're only gonna get about 45% of sales because everyone's gonna have to download the launcher.
I would say probably over 50% return the shitty game.
No, but they won't return it because you can't.
Right. But otherwise, they would have. So what's the difference?
That's the formula. There's guys at Ubisoft doing only responsible for making these formulas and saying how shitty should our rollout be. So this is sad though, because
Tell it to me straight, Jeffrey. How shit is this? You do some QA on this? Is it bad? How bad are we talking?
what is the least shit path for us to take, Jeffrey? This is kind of sad though. I've never been an Assassin's Creed guy, but I know that it's got legacy.
Yeah.
It's
for
so
good
this
reason.
is sad to see.
Yeah.
Very sad to see.
They're not the only one. Like, I'm happy to throw a bunch of companies on the bus, but Ubi's king right now for sure.
I feel like they haven't had a win in a long time.
Yeah.
Black Flag is the last good game they put out.
And that was 10 plus years ago, or how long ago was that?
Well over
Let's
13,
Oh my
maybe
God.
October 29th, 2013.
12 years. Bang.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah.
But this is like, is this speaking towards the industry right now? Is this kind of the way of the industry? Is Bethesda
For
who's
AAAs, Bethesda's in the same exact boat. They're equally shit. And it's just the
the
reality.
only one is FromSoft, huh? The only one that's doing big things. FromSoft and Rockstar.
FromSoft, Rockstar. I don't trust CDPR right now, personally.
Larian
Studios is great. Yeah, they're few and far between, man. They're definitely few and far between, and a lot of the Titans are. I don't trust Activision Blizzard. I don't.
That's a shame, man.
Yeah,
Bethesda's having actually
It
issues. the
really
same kind of
is.
issue with Doom right now. The Doom sales numbers don't look like they're going to be very good. Now, there's still a lot of people playing on these streaming services, but that's Doom Dark Ages. Their release that just came out last week.
These big game studios should have just rode off into the sunset. Activision, after Tony Hawk Pro Skater, you should have just sat on your porch in your rocking chair with a blanket on your lap. Like that, you're
they
just
put out a lot of
your-
heat since then. I'll give them that.
Really?
They put out a lot of heat since. Oh, I mean, they're also a combined studio now, so I mean, they get credit for all the Blizzard stuff and whatever. But
Okay, all right. Well,
that's Blizzard certainly doesn't know what they're doing these days, and that's a shame. We'll never get another StarCraft. Overwatch 2 is a complete joke. Hearthstone's like still very pay to win as far as card games are concerned, unfortunately. WoW hasn't had a meaningful expansion outside of the legacy stuff in ages. Yeah, it's bad, man. Is what it is.
It's a shame. It's a shame. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. But this allows for people to break out. This allows for studios to stand out.
And don't get it twisted. There's still like plenty of really solid free-to-play experiences out there too from great studios like Grinding Gear Games, PoE, Fire, Riot. I give Riot credit. League of Legends and Valorant are still hot. It is what it is. Counter-Strike, free-to-play game. Lock the fuck in. Be a man. Play CS.
Also, the guy who did the game about drug dealing and shit. One guy.
Yeah, Schedule 1. Yeah.
One guy.
Plenty of great indie devs out there for sure. There's still plenty of great indie devs, but it's funny that honestly most of the big boys who do it well have free to play games and they just say fuck it, I'm gonna make this game so good people will buy my micros. Simple as that.
I would do that. I would absolutely.
That's what Riot just did that with League. They released a $430 skin. That was on my list here, but we can touch it briefly. $430 for a skin bundle for one of their legends of
Here's a layup.
And you know what? That's fine. That's totally fine. Because you can play the game and you don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy a skin. You could charge $1,000 for a skin. I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna buy it. Yeah. But when you start doing the pay to win shit, that's when it approaches the scummy area. Skins that have nothing to do with capability of playing the game, that's on limits. Do whatever you want, man. I don't care. So
I agree completely. And some people really disagree vehemently, especially when it comes to projects like Star Citizen and like the ships that you can buy. Granted, those ships come with advantages and disadvantages and shit. So, to an extent, I kind of get it, but they're not upset about those advantages and disadvantages. They're just upset that the game doesn't really still exist and they paid $1,000 for a ship. It's like, if you paid $1,000 for a ship, you're a dumbass. I don't like. Yeah. What are we doing here?
What is this?
You did this knowing it was not indie, but it might as well have been a forever Kickstarter. Like that's always been the thing is like they're developing tech more than they're developing a game, and that's always been the thing. So I don't know. Are they fucking around? For sure. Are they developing great tech that's moving the industry forward? Abso-fucking-lutely. Server meshing, by the way, going to exist in Dune Awakening, starting in the 7 days from now, and it's going to be massive for the networking side of the game, which is crucial for a survival MMO like that. So it's also going to be the basis of Ashes of Creation, and the tech is just absolutely insane. So they're pushing the industry forward. People are mad. I don't get it. If it's a cosmetic thing, let it ride.
Yep.
Let it ride. Can we see it? Can I see it? Can I see this game?
It's a bundle, so it's a bunch of stuff. So they have a member of their pro community named Uzi. He's going into their Hall of Fame. He's considered
Uzi's
like the best ADC of all time, essentially.
Attack damage carry.
So what you get in the bundle in total is you get three signature skins. You get a signature splash art, a signature immortalized border, Risen Legend Vayne Paragon Chrome. I don't know what that is. You get a Frosted Ezreal, Project Lucian. These are more skins. So these are 1, 2,
They're all
3,
skins and customizables for like your player banner. Like basically when you're like entering a match.
Okay.
Get Nemo, little icon that you can pop up, show people.
So the signature move is not like
that's the name of a skin.
Thing. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Understood. All right. Well, good for him, dude. This guy's getting a bag.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He's had a great career. Earned it.
Okay. Shout out, Uzi. Let's move on to what I think is the coolest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah. What do we got?
So that would be Google VO3. So for those of you that don't know what that is, it's basically the newest and greatest from Google for their AI powered video generation. So they just unveiled it at Google I/O this past month. That's Google's developer conference. And so this is done with like Google DeepMind and that stuff. So I think it makes about 8-second video clips is my understanding exactly of how it works, what I've read. But I have a demo here that we can look at, and then I have another specific example. So let me pop that up quickly. And then let's just get the volume at like half.
Up everybody,
we can go through here. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because he's just doing some basic.
We're going to be showcasing non-cherry picked results.
Right
that way, you guys get a clear understanding as to whether or not this is worth it to you and your creative work. All right, let's go.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I like your intro, dude. Shout out. Very cool. Very cool.
So I went to the zoo the other day.
It's a stand-up comedian
and
that doesn't
all they
exist.
had was one dog. It was a Shih Tzu.
I tried everything for my depression. Nothing worked.
Every day felt heavy. I felt trapped.
So good.
Then I tried Puppermin.
Our prescription helps your body secrete a special pheromone that attracts puppies.
I took the pill before bed, and when I woke up, there he was, the love of my life.
All of this is AI
The
generated.
pill does
None
not
of these people
target
exist.
depression directly.
Nor do their voices.
But we've found that it's really difficult to be depressed when cute dogs show up at your doorstep.
I used to feel so empty, but now I feel joy and mild concern how a pee stain got on the ceiling.
My puppy listens twice as good as my ex-husband and only climbs into the lap of half as many of my friends.
He chewed up my Bible and pooped in my good chair, but I'm happy for the first time in years.
Looks like a rat, barks like a demon. But he saved my life.
I named him Earl. He follows me everywhere.
So if at any point you want me to jump ahead through these so you can see more of them,
just like
just let
my
me know.
first husband.
Yo, this is honestly insane.
That's
These
crazy.
AI
Actually
generated
mind-blowing.
videos are
I
too
watched that on stream.
expressive, too realistic,
Crazy.
and
Wow.
it's crazy to imagine
Wow,
that
wow,
the
wow.
video and the
You want
audio.
the backstory on
Okay.
that real quick? Pause for a sec.
Let's do it.
So essentially this guy, he makes like his career is like prescription drug commercials. And he said the average budget for something like that is $500K. And he made this with $500 of like timed credit with Veo 3. And he said, someone tell me the argument for spending $500K now.
So each video I believe is 100 credits, and the reason it cost him 500 is because it's not quite there yet, so there was probably a bunch of testing. Imagine when it is just perfect like that, it would cost him $200.
Here, let me go back to the beginning for 1 second. I'll pause on the prompt because they show the prompt.
He gave the prompts too. It's very cool.
So the prompt for this was muted colors, somber muted lighting. A woman, Sarah, 50, sits on a couch in a cluttered living room. She speaks melancholic, slightly trembling voice. I tried everything for my depression. Nothing worked. That's how he got that first clip there of that woman talking.
So he scripted everything that they said, and he also gave like the background, the atmosphere, the way they present the information. That was pretty much like that's it.
Prompting is huge.
He's very good at it.
So did he give you the prompt for all of them in his post?
I don't
just
think
this
so.
one?
There was a few.
I can check his post and see if he put anything else.
The Twitter post was awesome.
The good thing you can do, you take that prompt and you put it into ChatGPT and understand how he prompted it, understand what's important. Obviously, you can see the format of the prompt and you can see the result it gave you. That's probably a very good format to mimic and be like, doesn't have to be somber muted lighting. It can be golden hour something lighting. And there you go. It's saying the prompt is beautiful. The format is beautiful. That's amazing that he gave that for free because that's
he only gives the prompt for that first part of it.
That's fine. I think that's probably enough to chat GPT the rest of your way there.
So he did describe how he got all of this done because he also I think he had to do multiple videos together because I don't think it generates one this long.
Every one was generated
13 different shots, 5 to 10 gens per shot to get it right, about $500 in credit.
Yes, exactly. That's 5 to 10 gens to get it right. Imagine one gen each time.
Yeah.
And it costs you $100.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Pretty
Absolutely crazy. And right now they're giving a month for free. So I'm going to try this right after this podcast.
Nice.
I'm so excited about this.
I've also been seeing here. I'll show you. I'll pull this up quickly too, just to give you some examples of other stuff people are able to do with it. That's pretty cool. Is if you take existing content, so everybody's probably seen this meme before. You can they've actually been taking things like this and then having like generate what happens next.
Yeah.
So when I play this,
are you serious right now? I can't believe you.
Now that
you are unbelievable.
They need to do a better job with the.
Are you serious right now?
The subtitling, because I believe it says like, this is the AI. The AI still has a problem with hands too. I'll try and get to the one part. You can see hands are kind of still iffy. But are you celery right now?
Why does it have subtitles? Was the first picture, did it have subtitles on it because it was a meme?
No, I think it just, whoever generated this had it add subtitles to it.
Interesting. Okay, that's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I'm so excited to try this.
You ever dump my when you came last time to my house, you took some images.
Yeah.
You ever dump that into anything yet?
I have not dumped it into anything yet.
Dump into this guy. You can get.
I mean, you
get a little model.
The thing, the pictures we took of you is for a 3D model,
right?
To generate just a picture to start off with,
you just use a single still frame.
Just use one single. So you generate. That's what a lot of people are doing. They're generating an image in Midjourney because image in Midjourney is insane, and then they're taking it, throwing it into this as a starting frame, and then using that to prompt.
Did you give this a 3D model though?
Can you give it a 3D model? I haven't seen people giving it a 3D model.
For increased accuracy, if it's going to be moving around. Like
I don't think they do that yet, but there are things like Kling AI that do that. Yeah. But the realism in Google is the best, the absolute best that I've seen. And this is also why I stopped actually filming things like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I still have buddies who are, their main business is filming things. And I'm like, dude, you better start figuring some stuff out because you should have started 2 years ago, not making this your whole business model. And that's fine, dude. It's the way of the industry right now. Just like SAG, this is a losing battle.
Yep.
And this pharmacy ad just proves it. Like absolutely proves it. You know what's crazy about the voice too is it's not you're not linking a voice, you're not choosing a voice, it's choosing the voice that it feels goes with that picture. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. It's nice.
Absolutely crazy.
Well, and it just goes to show you too, I think, and it's kind of what you alluded to, but I think you have to adapt to these technologies coming because you're going to need people that are smart enough at using the AI and prompting the AI and build like that guy did this in, what do you say, 5 to 10 takes per shot, over 13 shots. Someone like me that's not experienced in making these types of ads and stuff, I'm not going to be able to do it in that amount of time. It's going to cost me a ton more money. So I think that's the kind of skills that people need to develop then with this stuff is being able to utilize this. Now, this is a tool to use that to your best of your.
I think people need to keep in mind when someone hires a videography team, they're not hiring you to film things and edit things, and they're not hiring you for that. They're hiring you for the finished product.
Yeah.
So if you keep that in mind, you're going to be all right. Everything that I do now is talking to AI and giving the final product to the business owner. All they're doing is, I don't have time for this finished product. Can you give me finished product?
Yeah.
If you can, great, let's do business. They don't give a fuck if you have a camera in your hand or not.
Yeah.
It's just not the case. I love it. I'm a big fan of AI. It's very scary, but it's also awesome because it's getting smarter and more capable every day. Man, this blows me away, dude. This absolutely blows me. And they're giving away a month for free. I don't know if I told you guys that.
Yeah.
Giving away a month for free.
Even just the voice alone is by far the best AI voice we've heard so far. It's not even close.
Crazy.
There's
well, 11 Labs is the best for voice, but it's good voice because it's in the scene and it actually feels real. The quality, everything, dude. It's just perfect. What do you got? What else is in this video?
There's just more examples, I think, of what people have used that use the tool for alternate.
You got to make sure if you guys are jumping in, don't waste credits. Always check your settings that you're on the right setting, because a lot of these guys are prompting on the second VO3 and they're wasting credits.
That is coming out, and I gotta say, this is the most impressive AI.
Still a little,
it's still a little
wonky
entire
though,
year.
Oh my gosh, crazy.
Where were you on the night of the bubble bath?
Insane.
We can talk.
No more silence.
Yes, we can talk.
We can talk.
We can talk.
We can talk with accents.
Oh, I think that would be marvelous, Fabio.
Yes, it is very fun. But
Yes, it is very good.
It's very fun.
I can talk.
Yes.
There you go. That's just kind of highlighting what you can do with the voices.
Insane, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, they're cooking.
I mean, Hollywood, huh? What is about to happen?
Yeah.
What is about to happen?
Great question.
Actors that are already solidified, you're good. Moving forward,
good luck.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real tough to be an extra. Tell you that much. The extra industry is in shambles.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm blown away, and I'm super pumped to try this out.
Yeah, very dope.
Very pumped. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is that it? Is there anything left? Should we end on that, or what do we got? We got one more thing. Is it a quick one?
I got a quick one that we can go over here. I'll save some of the others for the week, but sure. So this was an interesting thing that I saw on the topic of AI. AI cheating in school has become so prominent at major universities that there's a study done by the Wall Street Journal. And the Blue Book is coming back. So I don't know if you guys ever had to take an exam in a Blue Book, but this is like the pen and paper submission, and you have to actually handwrite essays and things of that nature. AI has been so prevalent in the educational system now, especially at the highest levels in universities. This was the stat that I found the most interesting, or the two stats I should say from the survey, but sales of Blue Books this school year were up more than 30% at Texas A&M University and nearly 50% at the University of Florida. So it's highlighting that they're just, these schools they don't know what to do between kids submitting papers that were written by AI, actually just having easy access to the apps to look up answers to things on their phones. They're going back to traditional pen and paper based submissions because they just can't keep up with it, because AI detection tools are falling very, very short. And a study that the Wall Street Journal conducted says that 89% of college students today have admitted to using ChatGPT to complete assignments.
Yeah, and I bet 89% of professors use it to grade.
I mean,
so they're using it to do the assignment. They're using it to grade.
I hear you. I think the biggest issue and probably the most overlooked thing is the way that we consider, education, and the way that we expect like rote memorization to equal learning, which obviously isn't the case. I've learned a lifetime worth of things in multiple subjects that I dumped out of my brain 1 week later.
Oh, absolutely.
And it is what it is, but that's like what's required. And most of university is just learning how to pass the exam and do well in the class. And is that super different from life? Not necessarily.
Nope.
Depends on what the field that you're going into, right? How much it actually matters, for sure. But I do like the idea of Blue Books and pen paper essays. Like, I think that you can't get around anything that way. You actually have to have some semblance of understanding. And if you can't provide a cogent argument or a thesis to whatever you're speaking on, then you don't know the material. And I'm down for that.
I think you could wear Ray-Ban Meta glasses and have it read and tell you what to write.
I hear you, but I've also been in testing environments that do not allow for things like that.
Glasses?
I've been in environments where not only are there cameras all over on you, but like you are in like a baby cubicle and you are essentially like, you might as well be going through security, going in and out of the testing room. Now, modern day technology, could you get it in?
Yeah.
Maybe. It's always a cat and mouse game. It's always going to be, cheating exists, and the fight against cheating is always going to be one step behind.
I just mean like this is what I went through in literally 2012, 2013. It's 12 years ago. So.
This reminds me of like you can't use your calculator. This type of situation, like stunting the growth because we're behind. Don't use your you won't always have a calculator. Okay, you're wrong. I will always have a calculator unless a freaking solar flare hits and we're all dead. I will always have a calculator. Same with I really think that it's like that with AI now. It's like you won't always have AI. Well, you kind of will until apocalypse.
I understand what you mean. It's like a tool is a tool is a tool, and in real life you have tools, and you're welcome to use them. And how you get from point A to B is up to you. But I think depending on the subject and depending on, like, can you use it to circumvent actual learning and memorization of things that you should know and will be used as building blocks for future things? And if you don't actually have them locked into your brain, you're not going to be able to understand like the second, third, fourth level of things. Yeah, you're going to be fucked. It just depends on the subject. You know what I mean? And the way that you are trying to, hop over the barrier.
I think the damning part of this is typically that the AI tools are also being used to generate the responses. It's one thing if you're utilizing it to look up the information, but then if you're generating the response yourself and writing it, that shows that you understand, you have a basic understanding of the material that you read. When you're actually just saying, hey, look this up, and then how should I respond to this prompt, or how should I answer this question, and it writes it for you, and you're just copying that. You literally didn't have to do there was no learning whatsoever there.
Genuinely mindless. For sure.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. I don't think this is going to be a thing for a long time. I think schools are going to lean into AI, and then it's going to be how well can you prompt, learning how to prompt and speak to AI, like we were talking about earlier. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Unless you're a doctor, well, even them, dude, it's crazy. I saw this study where they took a bunch of doctors and they took AI, and there's 3 groups. There's doctors without AI, doctors with AI, and then AI itself. And the goal was to diagnose. Doctors without AI diagnose 73% accurate. Doctors with AI diagnose 74% accurate. And AI alone diagnose 95% accurate. Because I guess when you're using AI as the expert in the field, like a doctor, you're using it and then you're like, nah, I'm right though. I appreciate the information, but I'm right. That's why they only moved up 1%, but then take the human error out of it, 95% correct.
We also had examples though, that lawyer that utilized the AI to essentially do his casework for him, and it cited cases that never actually existed because it found them on the internet and used it as like a prerequisite case. So like it's the problem is it's limited to the information being fed into it once again, and the controls, and it relies on the construction of the AI itself.
Yeah, good prompting and being able to discern between real and bullshit responses is pretty key. And the more that you use it, the better you are at that. You start to see like little tells like, oh, what are we doing here?
Yep. So it's hallucinating right now.
Yeah, it does happen.
It absolutely happens. All right, boys. Well, those were wonderful, wonderful topics. I always enjoy it. Markstrom, there's a lot of exciting stuff I see on your stream every day.
Yeah.
I was watching you this week, and it was what was it? It wasn't Gray Matter.
Zone.
It was Gray Zone.
Warfare.
Killing it, dude. Talk to me about it. What's going on?
Yeah, they had their 0.3 update. That's way more PvP focused, better performance, better quality of life. Game's really fun to play right now, especially if you like DayZ-esque games, or even like Hell Let Loose-esque games. It's right in that pocket, and yeah, it's been dope. I've really enjoyed it. Got drops on that going on right now. Also, Saturday, the 31st of May, we have the official launch of Free to RP. Ran by our friend Stan. Really excited for that. Gonna get my character set up and ready to bop on that. It's gonna be a good time, man. Gonna have our hands full content wise, and then of course Dune Awakening drops on the 5th of June. So that's coming up as well. Lots to play, man. It's a good problem to have. Catch all that over at twitch.tv/Markstrom.
Love it. Love to hear it. I'm excited about the character creation as well. When are you going to do that on stream?
I don't think so. No, I think I'm going to unveil a new character off. But
Can you keep me posted? Can you keep me posted when you're about to do that? Because if you don't mind, I'd like to do it simultaneously.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Abe, how about you, dude?
Well, I'm going to do my best to also get on that free 2RP server. I am approved, so you might see me on there. I don't know what I'm going to do yet on there. I have some ideas, but so I'd love to take part in that. But outside of that, all these cool things coming up on stream, I'll be there moderating, making sure you don't say bad stuff in the chat. You know, my moderating skills get called into question all the time, but I do my best, and that's all you can ask.
That's all I ask.
You know, so you can catch all those wonderful skills on display over at twitch.tv/Markstrom.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, would you kindly hit that subscribe button and press the bell to get notified every time we go live? We do this show every Wednesday unless Markstrom has a baby, Abe goes on vacation, or I have a baby. We enjoy doing it tremendously. So would you kindly hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, and also share this channel with everyone in your Discord DMs or your Instagram DMs, whatever you're using to DM.
Especially Jeeves.
Especially Jeeves. I wouldn't ask you to do something that I do not do myself. We appreciate it tremendously, and it does help. Every time you share, it brings a new set of eyes in here, and we do really appreciate that. So thank you. Share this with, I think, here we go. I'm remembering it. It's coming back to me. Share this with your mom, your dad, your uncle, the fish in the fishbowl, the dog on the couch. We have a great time doing it, and we want to bring this great time to as many people as we can. So this has been another wonderful episode of the Plugged Podcast, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Deuces.